waited. The uniformed squad car came. They put me in the back seat, and they both, the uniformed officer and the school resource officer, walked back to my car and searched it.
Did they ask for your permission?
No, they didn't.
They just searched it. What part of the car did they search?
I'm sorry?
What part of the car did they search?
All parts. They opened all the doors, they opened the trunk, they searched all parts of the car. And I didn't think they had the right to do that. So I got out of the squad car and walked towards them to explain to them that I did not agree with the search, and they got very upset, and they grabbed both of my arms, and they dragged me back to the squad car. And they told me, get in the car, and they were pushing me down onto the ground at the same time.
Did they actually knock you down? Did they knock you down on the ground?
Yes, they knocked me down on the ground. The uniformed police officer was standing behind me, standing on my legs, as I was on my knees on the ground in the back door of the squad car. And she's yelling to get up, and I'm like, I can't get up. You're standing on my legs. But, I eventually got up, and they put me back in the squad car and continued to search my vehicle.
Well, when you got out of the car, was the door open? Did they leave it open? How did you get out?
They left it unlocked.
Okay, so you just turned around, opened the door, and walked over and told them that they didn't have the right to search your car.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So what happened after this incident where they finally get you up off the ground? What happened from there?
They continued to search the vehicle. By that time, my boyfriend had come out of the house and saw, he saw that all the doors were open, and he was wondering where I was, so he went out and he started to speak to them, wondering what was going on, as I was sitting in the back of the squad car.
And did they take you to jail from there?
Yes, they did.
Did they do anything else to you physically before you left the scene of your home?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Did they do anything inappropriate after this part of the story?
Yes. They took me to the police department jail. This was still early in the morning. I'm in my pajamas, and I'm requesting water. They refused to give me water. I'm requesting, what am I being charged with? And they said, you'll have to wait to talk to the arresting officer, which was the school resource officer. This all happened at 9 o'clock in the morning. I got to the jail at probably around 11. Now, I'm still in my pajamas. I haven't eaten or drank anything, and I'm diabetic, and they don't know that. So I tell them that I'm diabetic. I need to get some water, and you need to check my blood sugar. And they called the fire department. When I was requesting water at the jail, they said, you'll get water when you get into the cell. When I got into the cell, I said, can I have a cup? They said, we don't have any cups. So I had to use my hand to get some water. I used my hand, and then I requested, do you have a towel so I can dry my hands off? They said no. Then the police department or the fire department came. They checked my blood sugar. They decided they have to take me to the hospital. So they took me to the hospital in an ambulance, cuffed, and I get to the hospital probably about 12. I didn't get a shot of insulin until maybe 4. I had nothing to eat and nothing to drink, and I still don't know what I'm being charged with.
And finally, when you find out what you're being charged with, what were the charges?
The charges were driving on a suspended license with no insurance, resisting arrest, and aggravated assault to 2 police officers.
They're claiming that you beat them up.
They're claiming I kicked them. In the report, they're claiming I kicked them. They're claiming I threw water at them. They're claiming that I was resisting arrest. They're claiming that I was trying to escape at the hospital, even though I was handcuffed to the bed.
Okay. And did they charge you with anything else?
That was it.
Okay. And do you have an attorney?
I have a public defender.
Okay. And when do you go to court?
And tomorrow. I've been going to court. This happened August 31st. We've been going to court a couple of times to get discovery of evidence, but it doesn't seem like they want to turn much over. The major thing that I was requesting was getting video or audio recordings, which would prove that I was not resisting arrest, that I was in handcuffs, that I didn't kick anybody or throw water at anybody in the jail. And I don't know if the state has turned any of that over.
Okay, let me do a couple things for you. Number one, I just think you've been treated terribly. I mean, I don't know all the details, but I know enough to know that this thing was clearly blown out of proportion, and the charges that you're up against are serious, and it looks like this guy is just going out of his way to ruin your life for nothing.
He did state that when we were standing waiting for the squad car that morning. He did state, because we were exchanging words, and I was very upset, and I was calling him,
Yeah, you're calling them names. I understand.
Right, and I asked him how old he was, and I personally attacked him.
Mm-hmm.
And he did state that, he said, "Kim, you are so done. You are so done." And, at the end of the day, hours and hours later, he charged me with 2 counts of aggravated battery, resisting arrest, operating an uninsured motor vehicle, and driving without on a suspended license.
Wow. Okay. And what is your appearance tomorrow for? What are you doing in court tomorrow?
Well, tomorrow is the state is supposed to answer whether they have any of the video from the squad car, from the hospital, from the jail, which, I would think they would have, but they're not answering whether they have it or not.
And did your attorney subpoena that information?
She requested it from the state's attorney.
Okay, got it. I got it. Well, you may need to go directly to the police department with the FOIA request and ask for that. Where are you? What state are you in? Where are you located?
Illinois. I'm located in Grayslake, Illinois, and this happened with the Grayslake Police Department.
Okay. All right. All right. So you're not having your actual court case tomorrow. You still have a little time, right?
I believe so. I'm hoping so.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you a couple of things. I'm going to help you. All right. Number one, it sounds to me like you have a good attorney. I don't know, all about your case in terms of everything she's done or hasn't done, but just the fact that she asked for that tape tells me she's working on it. I've seen cases where the attorney doesn't ask for anything, so you may have a good public defender helping you. I need to know more to say for sure. Second thing, we can give you advice along the way. I have a couple of investigators that work in my office, and I'm a retired detective. So if we can give you some advice, tell you what to look for, I can probably think of 5 or 6 things that you need to ask for that your attorney, should try to get. But there's a couple other ways we can approach this. Every attorney who has a case can rely on an expert. And she can either get the court to pay for it. She may not be able to. I don't know. But I'm just telling you this. You need some help. And we can give it to you. Now, we have fees for what we do. And that's why I'm thinking maybe your attorney can have it done through the court. And we can take care of it that way so it doesn't come out of your pocket. But if we don't do it that way, let me give you a few things that I think you need to get right away if you don't already have them. One is you've got to get that. You've got to get that tape. Number 2, you should be asking for all reports, including any supplemental reports that were written about your case, meaning your name's on it, whatever. Third thing is you need to have the attorney or someone go back through the records at that police department or find out where that officer, whoever his dispatch is, whoever he calls in for radio information,